Hey everyone, this is Tyjalea. Welcome back to my channel. I'm going to speak to my new naturals, or those that don't really know me. If you know me and you've been watching my channels, thank you. And you can stay if you want, but I'm basically about to give you the basics of natural hair and how you can grow your hair naturally. First of all, the first things first is, also, my hair is crazy. I'll get to that and I'll actually start doing my hair on here so I could demonstrate some things. But first things first, you need to identify the state of your hair. This time, me being natural, I started my journey 2013. That was not the first time I tried to go natural. I tried like 2 or 3 times before that and it failed. What I did not understand was that using heat was making my natural curl texture pattern natural. It was messing up my curl. And that's why when my hair was wet, it would kind of be straight and just limp looking. And I'll show pictures somewhere. If you use heat, and I'm not talking about using heat every day or often, even if you've used it one time like within the last year and you notice there's a difference between the ends of your hair and the very roots. So like my hair is fully natural. My hair is the same all the way from root to ends. It's the same. But when I was using heat, it was different. My roots were different from my ends. That's basically was my journey. I had to realize like, lady, it's heat, the reason why your hair is straight when it's wet or limp and the curl is like not really there. A lot of people transition from a relaxer or a perm, and that's like an obvious, okay, if you're a relaxer, you're perm, the hair is no longer in its natural state. So that's the obvious with that. So you just know like, okay, step away from the perm or the relaxer if you want to get back to your natural. For the heat though, those people I'm talking to, because a lot of us think like, oh, I don't use heat that often. It only takes one time to get that damage. That's really what I'm saying. Like, a lot of factors go into that. Some people hair do much better with heat and they could use it more often, or they could use it. My hair is pretty fine, so I try to stay away from heat at all costs because my hair could get damaged really easily when it comes to heat. I have myself on a timer that I forgot to start, but it's starting now because I know I could ramble. But that's the first thing. Identify where your hair is. So if you notice that your roots are different from your ends, like your ends are more straight and not as textured as your roots, there's probably been some texture alteration going on. Like something, either it could have been color too. Could have been, sometimes we get color damage. But my story was heat damage. And I'll link because I have my journey on there also. So I used to have my hair straight all the time. So I'd go every 2 weeks. I was in that shop every 2 weeks because I wore my hair straight. But when I started getting curious of like, what does my actual hair look like? Because when it was wet, it was still straight. And I'm like, I know this is not my hair. So then I wouldn't use heat as often. Then I'd go once a month. But that was still enough to be changing my curl pattern. So then eventually I was like, okay, let me go no heat. And I did that for about 3 months and I saw my natural texture coming in at the root. But I didn't realize that that's what was happening. I thought my hair was going back natural, like the whole hair was going back natural because I just wasn't using heat at all. No, the thing was only my roots was going back natural because they were growing in and they had never touched heat, so they were virgin. So I just kept learning and kept trying with my journey, and that's really what you got to do, is just keep trying, keep learning, keep taking in information. Hopefully this video is something that helps you along the way in your journey. Where am I? Okay, and then eventually I was like, let me just stop using heat altogether, because I actually realized like what was going on. I need to stop using heat altogether. That way I could allow my natural hair texture to grow in at its root, and I could really see what is my hair without heat at all. I started doing that. So at this point I'm transitioning. When you go from heat damage or perm or relaxer to natural, you can either big chop or you can transition. So a lot of people are like, I don't want to cut my hair. That's normal, that's fine. That's usually people's response when they first realize like, okay, the way back to natural is to cut the damage. I didn't want to cut my hair, I didn't want to cut my hair. I kind of did. I didn't know what was going on yet. So anyways, I just knew that I didn't want to use heat, so I stopped using heat. At this time, I have stepped into the transition. So once you decide not using heat, you have stepped into the transition. And hopefully you keep on going and avoid whatever it was that was damaging your hair enough till you can see your natural hair to its fullest when you finally do cut the ends. So you can decide to big chop, and if you do, I'll get to that because now you need tips on natural hair. But for my transitioners, if you decide to transition, it does get a little harder as your roots are growing in because it'll be so different from your ends. Transitioning tips. I don't have too many videos on transitioning because I wasn't really recording my hair on YouTube during that time. I was only on Instagram showing my journey. So I'm not even gonna step into that. If y'all got transitioning questions, DM me directly. I could probably help you, but make sure hopefully you've looked at the rest of my channel, because even what I do with my natural hair, you can do that with your transitioning. The only difference with transitioning is that it's just a little more difficult because of the difference in the texture. But otherwise, you take care of it the same. It's just more prone to breakage if you're not careful with it. But you can definitely retain length with transitioning hair. It is a lie. It's a myth when people say, oh, big chop because your hair will grow faster. No, I transitioned for a whole year. My hair grew the very same way that it grows now. And a lot of people think my hair grows fast now. I mean, what is fast? I don't know. My hair grows the average rate. That's fast enough for me. It grew the average rate when I was transitioning. The amount of length I retained was the same amount of length that I can retain now in a certain amount of time. So when you're transitioning, does not matter about cutting your hair is not going to make it grow faster. Your hair grows from the root. Cutting your hair has nothing to do with the root. I'm just nipped that in the butt. Now, if you don't know how to take care of your hair, whether you big chop or you go or you transition, if you have no clue what you're doing, just period, it's gonna be a disaster either way until you figure out how to do your hair. So when people say, oh, just cut it, if you're not ready to cut, do not cut. Just take your time, learn your hair while you're transitioning until you're ready to cut. The reason why, because if I'm sitting here and telling somebody, no girl, you just need to cut that hair, sorry y'all, but yeah, if I'm like, you just need to go ahead and cut it, girl, it's gonna go faster, just feeding them all these lies so I can pressure them into doing something that I think they should do or want to do, they're gonna cut their hair and they're gonna realize, oh shoot, my hair is natural. I don't know how to do my natural hair. And here I am walking around with a length of hair that I'm probably not used to. It's shrinkage that I'm not used to, and I look completely different. I can make it more easier for the person to want to go back to straightening or perming or relaxing whatever it was they were doing that they don't want to do anymore because they want to have their natural texture. So it's like, don't let anyone pressure you into cutting prematurely. Cut when you are ready, period. Cut when you are ready. You could transition and then cut. You can transition and cut like an inch at a time, like once a month, or cut more often so you can get rid of it faster. Or you could just transition it all the way out, which will take about 3 years or so. Maybe like 3 or 4 years, depending on how often you're trimming and stuff. But me, I transitioned for 13 months and then I just did a full big chop. Within that 13 months, I did also cut my hair about 4 inches, and that helped a lot with shrinkage. So if your hair is like super straight when it's wet, like I had heat damage, but it looked like a perm when it was wet. If your hair is straight like that, and I'm only talking to heat damage folks, I'm not talking to like relaxed hair, because if it's relaxed, it's gonna stay straight. But for heat damaged hair, when you cut a large amount, it does shrink up a little more. It's not gonna shrink up to its natural texture, but it does shrink up a little more. That was my experience. I'll link that video too, because I have a video for that. So I did cut my hair about 4 inches and it automatically shrunk up. So now I had heat damaged curls. But at first I didn't have no curls. But so any type of curl was cool for me. So even if you want to do something like that, if you just want to get like just a little bit of more texture, but you don't want to cut all of your damage off yet, cool. So those are the 2 routes. You can either transition or big chop. When you use heat, when you use chemicals, that can bring split ends more quickly. It's inevitably going to come to a point where the ends kind of wear and tear and it's time to trim again. That's normal. It's our normal part of taking care of your hair. Trims do not make your hair grow faster, but they allow your hair to grow. That's the difference. It's all about length retention. Remember, hair does not grow from the ends, it grows from the roots. But if your ends are damaged and you're not trimming your damaged ends, you probably won't see longer lengths because your damaged ends are breaking off, and if they start breaking off faster than your hair is growing, that's why sometimes it feels like your hair is growing backwards. Or that's why sometimes it feels like your hair growth is stagnant. It's because your hair is breaking at the same rate that it's growing. But when you have healthy ends, your hair is able to retain length, and you get to see the growth that comes in at the root. So yeah, make sure you're trimming your hair not to grow your hair, but to maintain healthy ends, which allow you to see longer lengths. Does that make sense? Yeah, I want to cut that and nip that in the bud too, because that's kind of like similar to that big chop thing. Oh, cut your hair, grow faster. No, it won't. Or trim your hair, grow faster. No, it won't. Your hair is not going to grow faster when you cut it. You're just going to be able to retain length now, and probably length that you weren't used to seeing because it was not able to retain length. So that's the only difference. Back to what I was saying about the heat, it brings split ends more quickly. When I was using heat regularly, my hair growth rate wasn't no different. The thing was, when I'm using heat is like more damaging to the hair than for me to just wear my hair naturally and let it do what it does and not try and alter it or anything. So I'd get, let's say, I think I was trimmed about every 3 months or so. I would get about 1.5 inches in 3 months. That's my growth rate. But then when it's time to trim, it's like, okay, I'm trimming and now I got less than the 1.5 inches. 1.5 inches, I don't know, let's say it's about this much. But then now it's time to trim. Okay, I grow 1.5 inches, but now it's time to trim. Okay, I grow 1.5 inches, and you're gonna see growth, but it's not gonna be. So I was kind of ranging in the same length with straightening my hair. It was like every time I got some length, it was time to trim. Now with natural, I don't have to trim as often, especially because I know how to take care of my hair. So with natural, I trim about every 7 months. In 6 months, I get 3 inches. So I have about this much in 7 months. And then I trim about this much. And then another 7 months, I have the same amount of growth, and then I trim about this much. So now in a year I have this much growth, and that's why it appears my hair grows so fast. I don't have to trim it as often as I would if I was putting heat on it. I'm gonna get to my hair and how I take care of it, because that's the next thing. So now once you're natural, I'm not gonna talk about transition, I'm gonna fast forward to y'all big chop. So now my hair is natural, right? The state that it's in right now, I just washed and deep conditioned it. How often you wash is depending on you and your schedule. A good medium that a lot of naturals do is like once a week, maybe every 2 weeks. There's some naturals I know that go every 3 weeks or 4. It depends on you, but like if you always wear your hair natural, you'd probably be washing every 1 to 2 weeks. If I protective style often, obviously your hair is going to be put away, so you probably won't need or have to wash or have wash days more often. I mean, as often, you'd probably be once a month. So it depends on how you wear your hair and stuff, but let's assume you're like me, you wear your hair mostly out or natural all the time. I wash my hair once a week. Sometimes I go 2 weeks, especially when it's long. Right now it's not that long, so when my hair was super long, I'm not washing my hair that often because it's just too much work. So then that's when I kind of stretch my wash days, and also because when my hair is longer, I have more length to try and get through, and that's just, it's too much manipulation for the amount of hair I have. So I'd rather not have to go through my hair that often. So then yeah, but when your hair is shorter, you can easily go through it. Like when I cut my hair in January, not this January, last January, I was washing about, I wasn't shampooing, but I was hopping in the shower to wet and like detangle about twice a week. I could do that because my hair was super short. I didn't have much hair. The brush just goes through it like that. So I just washed my hair. Every time you use shampoo, you need to follow up with the deep conditioner. Shampoo, it's cleaning your hair, so it's going to clean the moisture and some of the natural oils out of it. That's why people, black folks, whatever, usually have that myth that, oh, you shouldn't wash your hair that often. That's where they're coming from. How often you wash your hair is up to you, but you're going to base it around what you know about shampoo. And why they say that is because shampoo is removing that moisture and those natural oils, especially if it has sulfate in it. So a lot of natural products nowadays are able to make their shampoos sulfate free, so you don't have to worry about that too much. But even still, with sulfate shampoos or sulfate free shampoos, and I'm not going to get too because I'm not even an ingredient person, and if you're new to naturals, I don't want to overwhelm you, but let's just say shampoo. When you use shampoo, because it can have that effect on your hair, that's when you get like that squeaky clean feeling, because it's removed the moisture and the oils. And so now your hair is naked and in a dry state, so you want to deep condition. So whenever you shampoo, always follow with the deep condition. Otherwise, that's probably one of the reasons why you've probably been struggling with the dry hair thing. There's a lot of reasons why someone's hair could be dry. So when people ask me, my hair is dry, what can I do? I don't know what you can do, because it depends on what's causing your hair to be dry. But that's one thing. If you're skipping out on deep conditioning, that's probably one reason why you're struggling with dry hair. One reason, one factor, not the main reason. It depends on what else you're doing too. So I just washed and deep conditioned. I'll show you guys the products, but if you go through my channel, you realize I never use the same products. I use a whole bunch of different products. I do product reviews. There's no particular product or brand that is responsible for my growth. However, I did stick to one regimen when I grew my hair my first time, and that is the whole DIY regimen, and I recommend it to a lot of people only because it is DIY and it's so generic. It works for a lot of people's hair, and it's cheaper than buying these expensive products, because the reason why I had that regimen or came up with it is because I was a college student at that time, and you don't got that much money when you're in college. I didn't. I was a starving student, so I needed to find, okay, I can't be spending all this money on trying products, because experiment, I don't got the time. So I did a whole bunch of Googling. What do I got in my kitchen that I could find and mix real quick and see if it works? So I tried a few different things from my kitchen. It's a preference. Some people like, if you can eat it, it shouldn't go on your hair. I don't care. If it worked for my hair, it works. Like honey, for example. I really like honey. We eat honey. But obviously honey is good for the hair too, because there's a lot of products that incorporate honey into there's a lot of brands that incorporate honey into their products. So obviously it got some benefits, and it does, because I've been using it and other people have also used it and told me how it was working for them. So I would Google okay, what ingredients in your kitchen could help with shine, or what home or DIY. So let's not say food ingredient. What DIY ingredients could help with shine for your hair, right? That's how I landed on honey. My hair was always dull, and it's dull right now, but I'll explain why. My hair was always dull, and I couldn't figure out why, even when it was moisturized. So I'm like, okay, what can help with shine? That was honey. So I did a whole bunch of research on honey, how it could negatively affect the hair, how it could positively. I did all that before I decided to try it, and then I tried it, and I realized I loved it. That's how I came up with the products I used in my first journey, and I'll link that right somewhere, so you can go and look at that, because I'm not going to go into that regimen too much. But I had a DIY regimen where you don't have to try all these products, and I think you should try it if you're kind of still trying to find a regimen. I think you should try it, because I'm pretty sure that one will work for you. And if you're not going to stick to it, at least you'll know how your hair feels when it's in a good state. I washed and deep conditioned my hair. Now when you deep condition, you out of the shower, right? That's all I did right now. My hair right now looks crazy because I have not moisturized it. A lot of people get out of the shower, they finish their washing, their deep condition, they go. And then they find out my hair is always dry and hard and what's the word? Straw-like, right? That's kind of what my hair is like right now. It's really super soft and fluffy right now, but it's not really that moisturized right now. Or I have no product in my hair. Washed it, deep conditioned it, rinsed it out. So my hair is naked right now. I didn't do nothing else after that. A lot of people skip out on the next step, which is to moisturize. This is very important. This is probably another reason why your hair is dry. When you wash your hands and you don't put lotion on it, what happens? Your hands are super dry, way drier than they were before you even wet, and because you think well, I just had water on my hands and it was soft at first when it first was drying, but now it's parched. It's really dry because you didn't put lotion on. But most of us know, okay, let me put some lotion on because I just washed my hands. It's the same thing with your hair. So I just hopped out from washing my hair. If I don't put anything on it, it's gonna be dry. Right now it's soft, yeah, because it's still kind of wet. But when it dries completely, especially by tomorrow, if I leave it like this, it's going to be super dry, like how my hands will be if I wash them and don't put lotion on. Yeah, so that's just what the idea I tried to explain, to get people to understand why you should moisturize your, why it should not end at just washing and deep conditioning, and why you should go the further step and moisturize. What to moisturize with. I said I was gonna show y'all my products that I use today. I'm not, because like I said, I use different products. So Y'all could just, hopefully this video was helpful enough that you would want to look at the other videos on my channel, because you'll see products that I have and that I use and what I think about them or how they work on my hair. So my wash day looks like shampoo, deep condition, moisturize. Every time I wash, shampoo, deep condition, moisturize. If I shampoo, I always need to follow with the deep condition. When I finish getting out of the shower, I never need to leave my hair naked, because then it'll be super dry. So then I moisturize. Now, what do you moisturize with? A lot of us moisturize with a leave-in. That's a water-based moisturizer. I know it's another thing. A lot of people, my time ran out. I'm get out in about 5 minutes. A lot of people talk about grease and stuff. I'm not gonna get into it too much because I think it's my personal preference not to use grease, and I don't be recommending it because I think there's just so many other products out there that are a good substitute. I think you have to really know what you're doing if you use grease, and I realize a lot of people don't usually know what they're doing when they're using grease. Like, there's some people that know what they're doing, but a lot of people that don't know their hair yet, and they're like, oh, you know, I be greasing my scalp, greasing my scalp and greasing my hair and it's still dry. That's probably why your hair is dry, because grease is not a moisturizer. Water is a moisturizer. So if the product does not have water in it, it's not a moisturizer. You could identify if it's moisturizer because it'll be, this is the leave-in I'm about to use right now. I didn't even show y'all how I do my hair. I'm gonna do it real quickly at the end of the video, I guess. Maybe. So water will be the first ingredient. Now there's a lot of different types of products with water is first, but as far, if that's just really what I want y'all to get, is grease is not a moisturizer. You can use it as a sealant, but I do not recommend it because I think there's better substitutes. Like I said, if you want to use something heavy like grease, I will recommend that you use a butter instead to seal if you need something heavier. I usually moisturize my hair in the shower. So right now, I only let my hair sit like this so y'all can see what it's looking like when it's drying out from me not moisturizing it. So if I sit like this hair gonna dry out, and no. So I'm actually gonna re-wet my hair because I like to apply my products when it's dripping wet before my hair starts drying out. I'm going to re-wet my hair. I'm going to show you how I moisturize my hair, and I'll kind of explain some things as I do that. And I'm trying to speed up this part because I know I've been on here for a while, so I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back. My hair is wet. I just ran it under the water real quick. I'm going to start moisturizing it with my leave-in. It depends, but I recommend you work in sections even when you wash your hair. This will definitely make wash days a lot easier and help you better retain length too, because you won't be raking through all of your hair. It's easier to work a section at a time. My hair allows me to do 4 sections. Some people may need like 6 to 8 sections, or some people may be able to do just wetting my hair to make sure it's wet. Like, that's what I like to moisturize on. I don't like it to be any bit of dry. I like it to be soaking wet when I moisturize it. So anyways, I'm just gonna apply the product enough to make sure that it coats all the strands. This is where preference also comes in. After I apply leave-in, I do not stop there, only because leave-in is also like a water product. It's a water-based product. So what I like to do, I like to apply a little bit of oil after. Now this is called the LCO method. So my hair was wet. That is my liquid, your ultimate moisturizer. My hair was wet. Then I applied a cream product, a water-based cream product as my cream. That's the C. And then I'm going to apply oil as my sealant. This will seal in the moisture that I just put in from the water and the conditioner. Water and oil do not mix. So if you think about it, I have my water that's in my strand and on my strand, and then when I put the oil, that's going to help hold that moisture in from getting out, because the two don't mix. But when it's just the water, it's more easy for it to evaporate out of your strand. So you may find yourself needing to moisturize more often, or that your hair is dry more often or more quickly. So I like to apply oil after I do this. So this is the LCO method. I have a video on that. I'll link it. But yeah, now I'm just going to brush the product through. And I'm going to do this each section, and that's how I'm moisturizing my hair. I'm gonna get off now and probably do a part 2, but as far as styling, I have a lot of those videos, so check those out. Hopefully this is helpful enough. I'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe. If you have questions, ask me. Bye.